Welcome back to the Most Valuable Player podcast. My name is B-Man. I'm here with Sosa and a return for Nayim. Boys, was good.
Chilling, fam. Chilling.
Yeah, I'm just happy to be back.
Yeah.
How long's it been?
It's been months. It's been months. So a lot of things have happened. We'll start with the Premier League games from yesterday. We'll just talk around the topics that maybe are worth discussing. And I think the best place to start is with the current champions. Manchester City played Brighton 4-0. It was a battering. What do you guys make of it?
Oh, some beautiful goals. I saw the goals, saw Aguero's, and to be honest with you, they're just relentless. They're just so clinical. They're relentless. They're just constant battering, like you say, of teams. Non-stop action. So good to watch, except if you're a United fan.
Except to be a Man United fan.
I feel like you can just get a stock comment of these guys are incredible and just copy and paste every week for this segment for Man City. They're just that good.
Yeah, true.
I don't think there's ever going to be a chance where they'll get turned over. They'll just be stomping on teams.
They will. I think a Match of the Day did a really good job of analysing how that game went, and mostly it was a lot of intelligent running by the attackers, and then they've got midfielders David Silva, Kevin De Bruyne, Bernardo Silva when he came off the bench, that can then feed off of the runs.
You're right, they're just so intelligent because, normally, traditionally, you see the wingers and the fullbacks, they cut inside and then you play the ball inside and you get the cross in, but sometimes they trick you, they go inside, then they come on the other side. So it's like they're not running on the overlap, they're coming on the inside. It's like
they're pulling defenders out of position.
It's literally like chess with, and like you said, no one's going to turn them over. Unbelievable.
Exactly. I want to give Brighton a little bit of credit. Graham Potter's come in, came from, I believe, Sweden or Norway, or one of the Scandinavian countries, and he took a team from the 4th tier all the way to the 1st tier and managed to win the league.
That's wicked.
I mean, that's for a Englishman. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, not many people go out there and succeed. Anywhere. Outside of England, so it's good to see. We've seen a few more players now as well. Sancho, Trippier. We've seen Smalling go the other day as well. Yeah. Hopefully it starts, because then I think our league is so competitive. But if our players get more experience from outside, maybe it makes our national team even stronger. I know not all of them guys are in the team, but it'll just be a thing for a progressive future.
Definitely. I think it's necessary. But yeah,
I think. Do you know what I give him credit for the most? And do you know what? Pep Guardiola actually had to give him some credit as well. He said he came in to play a specific type of football and they came out and tried to attack City. And he has this brand of football that is very in your face, very high press, very trying to attack as much as possible. Yeah. And a lot of teams, when they see City or they see Liverpool or even to a certain extent see Arsenal, they try and contain more than anything, but he went for it. And you know what? At 2-0, they had 2 clear-cut chances, and if that went in, we might have been talking about this game a complete different way. So I genuinely hope that he sticks with what he has, because just like Pep said, do you know what? I love the fact that he played the way that he did, and if he sticks to that, then that team is going to do really well in the Premier League, because the only reason why they lost today is just because we had better players.
I was going to say, it's a bit like Klopp's rock and roll style. Like, that's the only thing that's ever been able to pierce City. And I think as far as teams go, they're the only team that could rival City in regards to beat their style of play.
Yeah. Okay, let's move on to the next game. I think this one is a little bit juicier for all, not necessarily things that were about the actual result itself. That was Liverpool against Burnley.
Yeah.
Well, guys, what did you make of that?
I've never seen some of the calmest people get so angry.
Yo, can we just talk about the elephant in the room with Sadio Mane?
I know. And to be honest with you, I watched it back. I didn't get to watch that part live. I had to go somewhere. So I got to watch the first half live. Liverpool were really good, and Alexander-Arnold, that was a bit lucky. I know the commentator said, he tried to get his keeper out. That was a bit lucky. He overhead cross, and he got his goal. Liverpool, again, so relentless, so on top of it, so much pressure. I know they conceded the odd chance, but it was the odd chance. And did somebody get past Van Dijk again? Jay Rodriguez. I think he dribbled past Van Dijk.
I'm not sure.
That's 2 in 2 weeks. Yeah, he scuffed his chance.
But you know what? I find it so funny that this has actually become a thing where getting past him is like an achievement. You still have to score the goal.
Teams are scoring a bit more goals this season against Liverpool. I know nobody scored yesterday.
Not so much.
And 2 people have got past him this season. I mean, that's
a sign that he's deteriorating.
Yeah,
he's coming off his peak now.
Hot take: Van Dijk's on the decline.
Nah, that guy's
joking.
No, he's soldier.
He's absolute soldier. But yeah, the incident. I mean, I thought I was the only one. I think I've noticed a lot recently. You know, since Salah last season when he was on that one more goal and he gets that record. I think it's a Liverpool record or a Premier League record. I feel like he's been a bit selfish. He's been forcing it. Don't get me wrong, he's earned the right to force it a little bit, but I feel like he was over forcing it. And even going into this season, he is a kind of guy who forces it a lot. And maybe it'll just take something like this to, maybe make him realise, okay, I need to pass a bit more to my teammates, because I've got 2 clinical finishers, 2 guys who are always open, who pass it to me a lot. So maybe I should just give it them. And yeah, maybe it's heightened a bit by the fact that Sadio Mane pulled a strop. But I think it was something that, just needs to be addressed internally. Klopp did a good thing. He said, look, that's internal. The boys are the boys. We haven't talked. But yeah, we'll see how they go next game.
To be fair to Mane though, he did this sort of before in the game where he did all the work, did all the running, and then he was waiting for that pass back from Salah, and it just didn't happen. That was the second time it happened. Now, if I'm a striker and I put in that much effort to bring the ball forward, and I'm sat there waiting for the ball to get passed back to me, and you don't do it again.
Yeah, I agree.
I understand it, and it's weird that it's against Salah because you don't expect Salah to be like that guy.
Well, he's not doing anything wrong.
He didn't do anything wrong.
But I think he did. And do you know what? The funny thing is, this is not an isolated situation. Clearly, Mane, this has been brewing because Mane seems like the calmest guy on the pitch. But he did the same last year. There were times where he should have passed and he shot. Maybe outside the box or inside the box. But yesterday, there were 2 clear instances where he really should have released the ball. One of them was to Firmino when he came on the right of him and he decided to take a shot. And worse yet is the one with Mane, the one that we're talking about now, where he had to cut back when there's 2 players in front of him and there's 2 people behind him trying to track back. He had absolutely no right.
See, Firmino's goal, it wasn't that Salah passed it. It's just that Salah miscontrolled it. And
That's so funny because the replay, you can see Salah, it's like the way he's grimacing and it's like the ball's gone too far, but then Firmino just comes in and it goes in. Absolutely bang on. I was just gonna say that.
And do you know what's funny? I over the holidays I watched like a lot of because football players have got a lot of free time, so they do a lot of their endorsements and a lot of their sponsorships and whatnot. And I think it's with Sky Sports. They always pair players together and then they ask them questions. And we'll ignore that for now. And there was one where it's Mohamed Salah and Mane. And one thing that stood out for me was it turns out that Mane doesn't really get involved in team activities and doesn't really talk much to anyone. And it's kind of like he just comes in, does his job, and he moves on.
All right.
So the fact that he then now has an issue with what Salah did, well, how do you reconcile when Mane is a very introverted person? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think Salah might be one of the only guys that maybe gets him. Having spent that time, like you say, maybe he's one of the only guys that gets him. So maybe he has to I think knowing like the way Salah's personality and character is, and you've seen him on interviews and you've seen him on the pitch and you've seen him, the people talk about him, in the public. I think he'll be fine. I think they'll get along. They'll hug and kiss it out and they'll be fine.
Hopefully.
Not literally, or maybe, I don't know. But they'll be absolutely fine. I think there's no problem.
I do know that Sadio Mane is the closest person to Sadio Mane is Naby Keita. Like Naby Keita's his little brother.
Yeah. Have you guys noticed something? Burnley came out with a 4-4-2 formation. I don't really watch Burnley matches like that, but that is a very old school. And then when I sat down and watched them play, I was like, they are really playing like we are stuck in 1985.
No doubt. Really I'll tell you now. If Sean Dyche had more money to play with, he'd be fighting with the big boys. What he did with Burnley so far, like for the past few years, it's nothing short of incredible.
Yeah, no, I think it's good. But it's like they've got 2 well, one really heavy striker up front.
Yeah, it's little and
They've
large.
got, like,
That's what they do.
They've got wide men instead of wingers. It's just and then very gritty at the back. This is like, it's like a European flavor against like hard boiled English football. Like, this is like grassroots going back to God knows when.
Yeah, definitely.
That's impressive. I didn't think anyone at this time would roll out a 4-4-2 formation.
Not with regularity. And I've watched them twice now, and they play the same way. They played against Man United like that, I think. Arsenal. Apologies, Arsenal. They played like Arsenal like that, and they played exactly the same against Liverpool. There's no change with them.
Yeah, and I like that. I like consistency. That's why I really hope with Brighton, from what I've watched so far, anyway, it's very flary.
Yeah.
And do you know the funny thing about Graham Potter, the Brighton manager? I was listening to a podcast and they said that he's got a qualification in leadership and emotional intelligence, a master's.
That'll come in handy.
He's got a master's in that.
He's got a master's in that.
Wow.
So and another thing that they mentioned is that he just loves the game for the sake of the game. Like, he loves, like, literally micromanaging all the little things. You know, when he talks, it just reminds me of all these really good, like, all the best managers, like, in the way that they talk. Like Sean Dyche and Chris Wilder, for example, they're like proper hard men. You know, they're like just hard men that just like the old ways. But he is like very progressive, and I like that. Let's move on to the second game. Chelsea versus Sheffield United.
Oh, I love it. Absolutely love it. Nothing makes me happier than seeing Chelsea, drop some points. Sorry, Sosa.
Are you guys waiting for me to speak?
I'm waiting for you to speak.
Look, it's this game is pretty much the story of what Chelsea season is going to be, because we're going to have a good start. Everyone's going to think, you know what? Yeah, these guys are going to go somewhere, and I'm preparing for the worst. I'm hoping for the best. They always say, expect the worst, expect the whatever that saying is. You know what I'm saying is. But anyways, I'm fully expecting us to like finish like 10th or something like that. I'm really hoping we get top 4. But this game kind of encapsulated that, where we did well in the first half. We just came out so relaxed, thinking, yo, the game's done at half time.
Mm-hmm.
And then when the game, in fact, it was literally the first few minutes, they scored a goal.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like, okay, our confidence is unraveling now. We kept them at bay for almost like another 40 minutes. And it's a case of, you know what? Now we can make some subs. I'm thinking to myself, if you're going to make subs, bring on Giroud. Let him hold the ball up top, and that way you can, play around. We don't have to just launch the ball up and then not have to worry about it, going to like defenders. He can try and protect the ball.
Yeah.
We brought in Batshuayi, who's not really about holding the ball up. I didn't even watch the goal because I knew, I was watching the game, I was thinking, it's 2-1, game's sewn up. I just left. I turned my TV off, I walked out. I didn't care about the game at that point. All I remember was someone shouting saying, it's 2-2. I'm like, oh my days. How did this happen? How?
And just to have a quick apology, you might hear some slamming in the background. That's just the door downstairs. I think we mentioned this in the first episode as well, but just in case someone didn't know, it won't happen as much as used to anyway when we used to do the podcast. There's so many flaws in that game.
Yeah, 100%.
There's so many flaws in the game. And we're from Sheffield, and Sheffield United is the best team that we've got, but they play a very tricky football that I don't think can last at all. And it's completely and utterly positionless. Their centre backs join the attack. I mean, that is not sustainable. They're like literally they are moving with just pure will.
Yeah, you know what I was saying.
That's not gonna last.
That game, the first 15 minutes of it felt like a championship match. Like,
poor.
It was just like
actually poor.
It was just hoofed up. Okay, the striker didn't get it. Okay, defenders got it. Hoof it back over. Kurt Zuma I don't know where this came from. He started doing 40-yard pingers like it was nothing. Like he was David Luiz. Yeah. I'm like, what's going on? Yeah. Why? And Jorginho had to come all the way back to like in line with the defenders just to get possession.
That's crazy.
But that's Sheffield United for you. They're one of them teams, like you say, overlapping centre-backs, that make you have to change your game a little bit, because they do things so differently and so unconventionally that you kind of have to adjust a little bit. You see Jorginho having to come so far back and Zuma having to ping out 4-yard passes. It's like you can't play the same game with fluidity that you normally can against any other team probably.
Yeah, but at the same time, Chelsea did have a significant amount of chances,
Yeah.
and they generally fluffed their lines quite a few times.
It's
and if any other team, they could any other team in the league. I'm not even talking about the big. Any other team could have put them to bed in the first half and sat back.
Yeah.
Chelsea, their confidence got sky high, and they got smacked for it in the second half.
The two goals were very lucky goals.
Well, maybe not the first one, but the second one was...
Oh, no, the first one, definitely. The first one was the one with the ball over, the keeper flaps it, and then it goes in. The second one,
the first one was the one that they catch him out on the wing.
Was the header, and then the keeper saved it, but he kind of fumbled it.
He fumbled it, yeah.
No, you're talking about the Chelsea goal. I'm talking about...
I'm talking about...
Oh, you're talking about the Chelsea goals. Oh, yeah, they're fortunate.
Yeah, very fortunate.
No,
very
fortunate.
If anything, I really felt like that first goal was a foul.
That's what I think Henderson was thinking as well. I think Henderson
was a foul. He generally he tried to get to the ball and he got kicked, bro.
Yeah.
Anywhere else on the pitch that would have been a foul. If anything, the goalkeeper needs a lot more leniency than
I think the goalkeeper was too far protected anyway. To be honest with you, I think
but in that situation, that cost them a goal that really shouldn't have.
Yeah.
But let's move on to the last game that we're going to talk about, and that's Manchester United against Southampton.
I'll be honest with you, it's just like Chelsea. Fans have to be realistic and they have to be honest with themselves. United, just like Chelsea, are a minimum of 18 to 24 months away from contention again, from rebuilding. Lampard, it's going to take time for him to rebuild that squad, just like Solskjaer. If you look, we lost some key players and we didn't bring as many in the departments that we lost. And those were the departments that we lacked in. Last season, we lacked in defence, midfield, and attack was okay, but defence and midfield. We strengthened defence, we lost the midfielder, and we're a bit short, and we've not replaced that midfielder. It was highlighted in that game because there was a lack of creativity, there was a lack of urgency, there was a lack of a leader. I mean, I love Paul Pogba. You consider him like a brother, even though I've never met the guy. I just love the guy, his personality and everything. But he doesn't want to be there. He does not want to be there. I've never seen someone so dejected. If he didn't get those 2 assists against Chelsea, he would have been criticised from game 1 to game 4 because every single game he just looked lacklustre. And he's a guy who can turn it on because he has so much more ability than most people. He can do one thing which is a bit lazy for him, hand on the hip and get something and get an assist or a goal from it, whereas most people can't do that. And that's why against Chelsea his flaws were kind of, put away because he got 2 assists and he did a couple of good runs. He does not look like he wants to be there. If it was me, honestly, as much as it hurts, you got to sell him.
You know what?
If you can sell him now, sell him because he does not want to be there.
I think that in that game, specifically Pogba and even Rashford were 2 worst players on Man United.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Do you know what? People are saying, I've heard that a lot yesterday. People are saying they're just picking 2 out of a really, really bad bunch of performances.
Oh, no.
But these guys are expected to, especially with Rashford having that many chances that he did have.
Yeah.
Rashford didn't have any chances.
There was a couple of 4s in there.
Yeah.
4 out of 10s. There was a couple of 4 out of 10s. But I'm not giving anybody more than a 4 out of 10. And that's Daniel James. He gets a 4 out of 10. Or 5 out of 10 maybe for him.
I think Wan-Bissaka deserved a little bit more.
Yeah, but to be honest with you, there was no urgency. You're Man United. The problem is you're expected to attack the other team, not sit back, not take pressure. Take a little bit of pressure in 90 minutes, not take that much pressure.
But
taking pressure.
I think you're stuck. I think you're stuck in a place where you believe that Man United is still a good team.
No, it's not about a good team. But you look at the players they've got. They're a better team than Southampton. They're a better team than Crystal Palace.
Clearly, they weren't.
No, they're a better team on paper. They're a better team.
Yeah, but we're not even playing on paper.
They are not performing whatsoever.
Based on yesterday, Solskjaer got outcoached. Our players got outworked. They are, and they were better. We looked awful. Yeah, and although you gave Daniel James a pass, he scored a goal. But besides that goal,
no.
I don't think he did anything.
Even if he didn't score, I think he gets the pass.
Big ups to Southampton.
He was the only person that was running in behind, that was trying to cross. Don't forget, he's 21. It's going to take time for him to become the finished article.
I believe that.
He was the only person that was constantly... I watched the highlights. I watched the guys talking about the analysis after. He was the only one constantly trying to get in, using his pace, using his power, using his pace all the time. He was the only one. Rashford didn't do that. Lingard, non-factor when he came on.
Yeah, but
Pereira,
he should not. Lingard should not have come on in the first place.
Non-factor. I mean, it's all you've got though. This is the thing. This is what I mean. They didn't strengthen the squad. Non-factor. Greenwood had one chance. You can't judge it.
Based on that, knowing that there's nothing on the bench.
Yeah.
It's way too late to sell Pogba right now.
Oh yeah, of course it's too late.
It's way too late.
The transfer window's closed. But what I'm trying to say
but I'm saying that the transfer window for other clubs haven't gone yet.
Yeah, no. What I'm trying to say is that it's clear that he doesn't want to be there now. Because what Solskjaer's trying to do is build something with this unit, and next summer add 2 or 3 or 4 players. Yeah. That's what he's trying to do. If you build some chemistry and then players come in and know that these guys are working together, they just need me and him, and we're gonna get over the top.
Yeah.
But if Pogba's, I don't know what he's doing in the locker room. But on the pitch, he clearly looks like he's. I'm not scapegoating him because there was a lot of bad performances.
Sure.
But in all 4 games, I've watched him. I've watched all 4 games, every single minute. He looks like he doesn't want to be there. He looks devoid of confidence. He looks like he's been asked to be there. He's been forced to be there. Personally, you got to cut ties with the guy. Whether it's now, whether it's in the summer, I don't know. It's too hard now, probably. You're right. It's because there's no replacement and we're short. But I think unless he changes his attitude, you've got to let him go.
Okay, cool. We're going to put a stop to it there. Thank you so much for listening. Please like, subscribe, and share it with your people. There was loads of support for the last video. Like, literally loads and loads of people retweeted it, man. So we appreciate you, and we're going to be back in a couple of days. Peace.